morning, Celebration Spiritual Center. Good morning. I invite everyone to stand in this moment, and before we prepare for prayer, I want to take a moment to stand with our sisters and brothers around this country, those who have just experienced the murder of their friends and family in El Paso, here in Brownsville, and even most recently in Dayton, Ohio. And what we want to do is not just stand with them and not just send our thoughts and our prayers, but we also understand from a spiritual perspective, we know that all minds are joined, yes. We know that we're connected. And so I invite you to close your eyes in this moment and place your hands on your heart as we unite our mind and our heart. Because we recognize that it is only through the connection of the mind and the heart that we heal and change this nation and change this planet. And I invite you to focus on that healing vibration of love, sending it to those who are in dismay this morning. Those who did not know that yesterday would be the last time that they would speak to or see their son or daughter. Those that did not know that yesterday would be the last time that they would see their mother, their husband, their sister, their cousin, their uncle, their grandparent. Send them love right here and right now. And as we vibrate at this level of love, this level of healing, we allow that love to expand not just to those individuals who have experienced this loss, but we also let it reverberate out across this nation. And particularly, we send that love to the halls and the chambers where our congressional representatives are housed. Right here and right now, we place love in those seats. Love that has the good sense to enact change now. Love that has the good sense to pass the bills that have already been written that would enact change now. In your mind's eye, send love all throughout those halls and hallways. As we let this vibration of love change the hearts and minds of those that are obstructing healing, those that are obstructing justice, those that are obstructing a path forward so that we can change this very unique issue in this country, doing what other countries have done successfully. We know what's possible. We know it's possible. It is a reality that's being lived all across the planet, and now we allow that reality that already is to become our reality in the United States. And so now I ask our prayer champion, Reverend Shauna, to come and lead us in prayer.
Good morning, beautiful people. In this very moment, breathe in and breathe out. Let go of everything except being in this present moment, being here now, being in the presence and fullness of God, the Spirit that is unknowable, unending, all-powerful, and all-knowledge, the thing that created every single thing that was and is and will be, the God that is timeless. We are so grateful to know that we are the consciousness of God, that God expresses through our hands and our feet, our compassion and our joy, our blood, sweat, and tears, that God is directing our lives purposefully. We are the one mind, one heart, and one love. Wherever we are, God is. There is nowhere we can be separate from God. There is only God and only good and life and joy and consciousness. We are so grateful for this. Whatever challenge, seeming setbacks, sorrow, feeling of lack or limitation that I have experienced has held a gift that I could not see in the moment. But life continues to flow and change endlessly. My experience is that God is good and only good. God has lifted me out of the depths. God has provided a way when I could see no way. God has performed miracles for my family and friends and associates and coworkers and neighbors. God has performed miracles for you and your family and your friends. God is constantly working for our good. I now declare the truth that all things are possible. Abundance is ours now. Financial security is ours now. Loving relationships are ours now. Children are ours now. Perfect health is ours now. Friendships are ours now. Pets are ours now. Grand adventures are ours now. We hold these thoughts with emotion and excitement, and the universe demonstrates them. We hold thoughts, feelings, and memories of this service, its music, meditation, and message throughout the coming week, and watch miracles unfold. Thank you, God, Spirit, Universe, for this prayer being answered in its totality. I release this word into that divine law that already knows what to do and how to do it, and declare that it is already done. So with total joy, acceptance, and expectation, that we say amen, amen. Ashe, ashe. So it is.
We celebrate being right here and right now. There's no other place I'd rather be. It feels so good to be home, yes, yes? I can feel my feet on the ground. I'm in the present moment now. What a joyful place I found. Here in the present moment now. I am here now. Yes, yes. Leaving my worries at the door. I'm opening to more love and more joy. You celebrate with me now. We're in the present moment now. All together as one family we are. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath. We sing, I breathe in. I breathe out. I'm in the present moment now. The easiest way to get present is just put your hand on your heart and say, and take a breath in. Focus on that breath. Then you can affirm these words. Here in the present, problems seem so small. Here in the present, all my giants fall. Here in the present, problems seem so small. Oh, here in the present, all my giants fall. Oh, living power. Down, 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 down,
on behalf of myself and Pastor Greg, welcome, welcome, welcome to Celebration Spiritual Center, CSC. And we celebrate the magnificence of God in you, as you, all around you. There is nothing but God, and it is good. It sits right where you sit. God breathes right where you breathe. The same heartbeat is God's heartbeat. Guess what that means? That it brought you into existence and it didn't make a mistake. It doesn't keep a list of your mistakes. It knows your perfection. It knows that you are sinless. Sinless. If you're unfamiliar with the kind of loving energy of God that sees you as it created you, welcome here, welcome home. That's how and why we celebrate. Ain't it good to know that you're good? Yes! To know that you're good. Man. At CSC, we believe that everything is spiritual. And that would include your cell phones. So what I'd like for you to do is spiritualize your cell phone. What does that mean, Pastor Yolanda? That means put your cell phone on vibrate. And let every idea that comes to you, every divine sharing that comes through you, post that out there on Facebook and Twitter. Let people know where you are. Not just where you're sitting, but where you're checked in, tapped in consciousness. Okay? And if you receive one of these blue connection cards, please fill it out because we want to keep in touch with you. Drop it in with your offering. Make sure you put your email address on it. Drop it in with your offering and we'll put you on our mailing list. It feels good to be in year 6 at CSC. Yes. 7 years ago, we said yes to something. We said yes to each of you. We didn't know you, but we knew you'd be here. When we said yes, we were responding to your yes. We're so grateful to have created a place where we can all come together that feels like home. So you're never a visitor. If anything, you're a guest. A guest in our home and in our heart. And when you come back, because we know you'll come back. When you come back, you're family. First time you come, you're a guest. When you come back, you're family. So if we have any first-time guests, please stand. First-time guests, briefly stand. Thank you. And remember, the first time you come to CSC, you're a what? Yes. And when you come back, you're what? Family. All right, let's stand and greet each other like family. We are a family, like a giant tree, catching up towards the sky. We are a family, we are so much more than just you and I. We are a family, like a giant tree, stronger, growing wiser. We are growing free. We need you. We are a
Yeah. We are indeed a family. We are indeed a family. And so as a family, we're going to affirm this truth together in song. I am the wave, you are the ocean. All that you are, I am. One with the one, all of creation, all that you are, I am. It's a beautiful way for us to understand and think about this profound truth that we are one with God and we are one of God. And, you know, that sounds crazy sometimes because some people take that and run off the deep end with it and think that they are God. And that's not it, right? We are the wave. God is the vastness of the ocean. Now, a wave has all of the capabilities and possibilities and contains all the properties of the ocean. But yet, it is not the entire ocean. The other beautiful thing is that a wave expresses itself and then it falls back into the one and expresses itself and comes back into the one and expresses itself. And it's a beautiful image for us to understand what our connection to the all that is truly is. So I invite you to sit with this and sing along with us if you would like to. I am the wave, you are the ocean, all that you are, I am. one, all of creation, all that you are. I am, 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 I am the way.
I am the way.
You are.
You are the ocean.
All that you are. I am.
I am
One with the one.
one with the one.
All of creation.
All of creation.
All that you are.
That you are.
I am. I am the way. You are. All that you are. Anything that you can ascribe to this thing you call God, the divinity, the good, the power, the healing, the harmony, you are one with it. All that you are. I am. Oh, I am. I know who I am.
All that you are.
I am. I know who I am. All that you are. I am. I am one with God. I am one with love. I am one with healing. I am one with possibility. I know who I am. All that you are. All that you are, I am. Oh, I am. I am the way. You are the ocean. I am the way. You are the ocean. All right, so 20, let's do this. I am. I am. I am. I am. I am. I am. I know who 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 I am. I am the way. You are the ocean. I am the way. You
Celebration. I am Jen, and I'm so happy to be celebrating with you this morning. One thing you'll learn about CSC is that our vision, mission, and purpose guide everything that we do. The vision. Celebration Spiritual Center is a God experience that turns on the heart, mind, and soul of the world. A God experience is the realization of oneness that transcends material sense. Our mission and purpose in the world is to awaken the world to the presence of God within and all around us. Celebrate this truth as one family. Embody unconditional love. Equip humanity to live our greatest lives and to serve all creation. The centering thought for this month's meditation is love, joy, and peace abide in me. And the song for the month is Go Within. The August message series is The Secret Sauce, a recipe for transformation. In an episode of the TLC reality series, My 600-Pound Life, Dr. Now shares the 4 key ingredients that are necessary for patients to make a massive change. 1, a proper understanding of the problem. 2, the right attitude. 3, desire. And 4, a willingness to hard work. This recipe for transformation doesn't just apply to weight loss. Actually, it's the secret sauce behind every great transformation. This month, we will learn how to apply this wisdom from Dr. Now to any area of life that is calling for transformation. Once you have the secret sauce, you can put it on anything. Pastor Greg's topic today is, what happens before surgery? It's time, what happens before? It's time for you to CSC news and updates. Summer hours continue at CSC. Doors open at 10 a.m. and services promptly begin at 10:30. Summer hours will be observed through August, so come early, get your spiritual food, and then do something fun and relaxing with your day. Come and get clarity about what's going on in your life. Pastor Greg and Pastor Yolanda are here to support you in applying what you learn at CSC to your daily life experiences. Join us Sunday, August 18th at 12:30 for the God Talk. No question is off limits. Now save the date. Summer ends. Endless summers with family and friends is coming. We know all good things must come to an end. So we are going to celebrate every bit of the summer season. Our Friends and Family Outdoor event has officially been rescheduled for Sunday, September 8th. Invite your friends and family and join us for service at 11 a.m. and enjoy good food and fellowship afterwards out in the plaza. Start your day by knowing the truth of who and whose you are. PG, PY, and the prayer champions pray with us and for us every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Call details can be found at the member services, on our website, and social media. Connect with us this Wednesday and advance confidently into your day. A text to give. It's fast, easy, and secure. Text your dollar amount to 347-744-9500. The minimum, then you follow the prompts. The minimum is $10. Again, that number is 347-744-9500. Just a few housekeeping reminders. Food and drink is not allowed in the sanctuary except for water. However, please make sure that water is covered. Also, no audio or video recording is permitted during the services. Now, I'd like to thank you for joining with us, and we'll see you again next week.
That time. The time that we dedicate each Sunday to tapping into the truth of our being. It is the time that we remember the truth for ourselves. It is the time that we let go of what we think God is and we feel God for ourselves. It is the time to know who and whose we are, and to feel that aliveness within us now. Does that sound like something you want to do? Awesome. I love this time because it takes what we think we know and zeroes in on what we really feel and know to be true about God. So let's go ahead and close our eyes and rest our back against the chair. feet to settle on the earth beneath us. This is the time that we go within. It's an exciting time. A time that is always available. All we have to do is close our eyes. Releasing the outside world from its responsibility and taking our journey inward. Feet on the floor, let's relax the feet. And notice, as you surrender the feet, something begins to happen internally. The breath begins to slow. It's as if it knows that you are supported and held and loved. It's as if the breath goes where you've always wanted to go, to the center of your being, where love, joy, and peace abide, right here and right now. And since the feet are relaxed, let's begin to relax the body section by section, breath by breath. Go ahead and surrender the ankles. Relax the ankles. And send that energy traveling up the shins and calves. Relax the calves. The knees can relax. We can bend from this place. We can align our vibration with that of God. Relax the knees. The thighs follow suit. They relax into the chair, into the seat. And the hips, they spread slightly and relax. Energy begins to travel up the spine, activating every chakra of the subtle body. In your mind's eye, see each chakra begin to spin. As energy crosses it, it balances with the chakra beneath it. And then the energy travels all the way up the spine. Out the crown of the head. Imagine that energy collecting and creating a force outside of our body that we all contribute to a power. And then see that energy flowing back down through the crown, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, and up the palms and the fingertips, they relax. From every corner of our body, we become an open channel. And from this place of openness and receptivity, we breathe. Bring the energy to the low belly. Inhale through the low belly. Hold it there. Open the mouth and release the breath. Beautiful. Inhale through the low belly. Now up through the rib cage, expanding the front and the back and the sides. Hold it there. And release. Beautiful. Inhale all the way up through the heart at the center of the chest. That love place, that healing place. Hold it there. Open the mouth and release. Beautiful. And this time, one smooth flow of breath all the way in through the low belly and up through the heart. And send that energy out the mouth. Open the mouth. imagine what comes in is the peace, the joy, and the ease. Scanning the body, notice anywhere that you're holding on. Breathe into it and release it. Together, let's breathe in again. Inhale all the way up through the heart. And release. This time, we're going to breathe in all the way in and up through the heart. Breathe in. Close the lips and exhale through the nose. Slowing down the breath and the heart even more. Again, inhale all the way up through the heart. Exhale through the nose. Bringing your focus to the heart. Realize that peace, joy, love, they all abide in you. Imagine that, filling every cell. As we go within, you let that peace and that joy and that ease abide. And as we sing, you just feel yourself being filled with the love of God. Go within. The love of God sustains you. Go within. Oh, within. Open my body and soul. Go within. Once within. You'll find the answers you seek. Once within. So go within and return to love. Returning to the source, the peace, the joy, the ease. It's very simple. Go within. Go within. The love of God sustains you. Go within. Oh, within, yeah. Open my body and soul. Go within. You'll find the answers you seek. Once within. So go within and return to love. Scan that body one last time. Notice anywhere that feels tight or restricted. Send love there. And as the music slows, we will go into the silent time and monitor that time. You just take the journey. Let every voice, every presence, every idea but these be still. Now. in this feeling. We notice the cool breeze around us. But we live from the activated feeling, joy, and peace, the fire within us. We allow that fire to remind us that God abides in us, is at home in us, is with us at all times. All we have to do is go within. That's all we have to do. In that centered place, we surrender it all. And in its place, we accept the peace, the love, the joy. And as we are in this surrendered place, we just acknowledge it right here and right now. Go in.
The love of God sustains you.
Go in. Go within.
Open my body and soul.
Go within.
You'll find the answers you seek.
Once within.
So go within and return to love. To love. To love.
Go within.
Go within and return to love. To love.
Return to peace.
To love.
Return to joy and peace.
Go within and return to love.
Start to bring yourself back now.
To love.
Bring your palms together at heart center.
To love.
And bow your chin to your fingertips.
Go within and return to love.
Slowly flutter the eyes open.
To love.
And take a pointer on the floor.
To love.
Inhale, raise the chin, raise the gaze.
Go within and return to love.
To love,
To love.
to peace,
To love.
to joy and peace.
Go within and return to love.
Namaste.
That meditation felt good.
Okay,
That's
come on now.
good. You know, it's only going to get better as we go deeper throughout this month. Thank you, PY. Y'all know she wrote that, right?
Yes.
That's that good vibration. And so we're going to take this time to celebrate who we are by affirming our name, by affirming our true name. You know, out here in the world, out here in life, we're answering to some names that we shouldn't be answering to. Right? We're answering to dysfunction. Somebody hollers out dysfunction and we like, yes, what do you need? We're answering to broken. Yes, that's me. Right? We're answering to lack and limitation, all of these different names. And so we're going to shift that vibration and affirm what our names are. And we're going to decide and choose to live according to that name. My name is royalty. Yes, yes. Come on, everybody. Everybody put your hands together. Here we go. My name is Faith.
My name is faith.
My name is freedom.
My name is freedom.
My name is rich.
Is rich.
My name is royal.
My name is royalty.
My name is success.
Is success.
Hey, my name
My name
is abundance.
is abundance.
My name is healed.
Is healed.
My name is royal.
My name is
I'm gonna say it
royalty.
again. My name is faith.
My name is faith.
And my name is freedom.
My name is freedom.
My name is rich.
Is rich.
My name is royal.
My name is royalty.
My name
My name
is success.
is success.
My name
My name
is abundance.
is abundance.
My name
My name
is healed.
is
In
healed.
body and mind. Yes, yes.
My name is
Oh,
royalty.
say my name, say my name, say my name.
Say my name and say it right.
I am a child of
I
God.
am a child of God.
I am the light.
I am the light.
Say my name and say it right.
And say it right.
My name is royalty.
My name is
Oh, say my name, say my name, say my name.
my name. Say it right.
I am a child of God.
I am a child of God. I am the light.
I am the light.
Say my name
Say it right.
and say it right.
My name is royalty.
My name is royalty.
All right, let's clap it out, y'all. We made a decision now that when we tell the world to say my name and say it right, we have to decide to live according to that name. We now have to live as faith, as freedom, as success, as abundance. Have you made the choice today to live according to your name? Soprano, tell us about the decision you made.
I have decided to live according to my name. I have decided to live according to
Come on out there.
my name.
Come on, Simmons. Yeah, yeah. Everybody up. Yeah. It's up to you. Yes, yes. And that's a daily decision and a daily choice. Because out here in this world, there are so many opportunities to answer to the wrong name. Yes, yes. And so we have to wake up each and every morning and say, I have decided to live according to my name, my real name, my God name, my good name. Royalty. Yes, yes. Well, good morning. Happy Sunday, CSC. So good to be here with all of you. Thank you, Soul 21. Well, I am excited about this series and the message that we're going to share here today. As you heard in the description, it is inspired by the reality series, My 600-Pound Life, and it's kind of been stirring for a while, right? Since sometime last year, PY and I have been talking about how transformational we think what's behind this reality series really is. And so I pray that, one, it will support you in your own transformation, but also support you in even seeing the show a little differently. Just a show of hands, how many people have watched My 600-Pound Life? You've ever seen it, right? Okay, this is good, right? So I want to just tell you a little bit about what the show is about. It's a show that follows a weight loss journey. Each episode is usually the weight loss journey of one or two people, depending on what's going on. And we follow their journey over a year. Each person, each cast member is considered morbidly obese. Oftentimes, they have limited mobility. They are in need of assistance to take a shower, to get dressed, to go to the bathroom. They may need someone to cook for them or to go out and get their food. Basically, all of the activities that we take for granted, that we just do without even thinking about it, we find, and it's part of the sort of the formula and format for the show, that you first see all of the ways in which their particular experience with their weight is not allowing them to live a full life. And so no matter where the cast member lives in the US, they are treated by Dr. Now, or Dr. Nazardan, but Dr. Now is what he's called affectionately, in Houston, Texas. And Dr. Now is an amazing physician. He's actually a pioneer in the field of weight loss and bariatric surgery. He's performed over 2,000 weight loss surgeries. And he's really seen it all, right? Which is one of the things that I love about him. And so he doesn't let his patients slip into self-sabotage. And he doesn't allow his patients to make excuses, because there's nothing new under the sun for him. And so he hears these excuses and he sees the ways that they try to sabotage themselves or sabotage their progress, and he's not having it. And so it was during an exchange with one of his patients that was self-sabotaging. She was sabotaging her success, and it was in that episode that he shared what I call the secret sauce, and what he calls the 4 things that are needed to make massive change. He says, first, you need a proper understanding of the problem. You need the right attitude. You need desire. And fourth, you need a willingness to work hard. So we're going to go through the 4 of these throughout the month. And today we're going to start with number 1, a proper understanding of the problem. And my topic is what happens before surgery. And so in order to develop a proper understanding of the problem, I have 3 ideas that I'm going to share with you. One is the first, to know that everyone has a 600-pound life.
Okay.
2, there are no magic pills. And 3, there is only one problem. Again, everyone has a 600-pound life. There are no magic pills. And in truth, there is only one problem. So everyone has a 600-pound life. I am actually thankful and grateful for each person that has the courage to be on this show. Yes. To allow us to witness this not cute, not pretty journey that they go through. One, to see where they are, where they begin, which is definitely not cute and pretty. But even as they move through and all of the different things that happen, there's so many different things that can happen. But I'm grateful and thankful for these beautiful souls who have the courage to share their journey with the world. Some don't succeed. Some, we get through 365 days and they have lost very little weight and never got to even having the surgery. Some have marginal success. They lose some weight, they have some changes, they have some gains, but they really don't experience meaningful success. And unfortunately, there are some cast members who also pass away in the process, during filming or shortly thereafter. And so I'm grateful for each and every one of them, because they are my mirror. See, I'm grateful for the mirror because they show me what my stuff looks like that nobody else can see. They show me what my foolishness and my self-sabotage looks like that nobody else can see. They happen to be carrying this weight. They happen to be carrying this experience, so everybody sees them. Everybody ridicules them maybe at times. But in truth, everyone has a 600-pound life. And so before they get to Dr. Now, again, as I said, we learn about their life. And what we learn, almost without exception, we learn about the journey of what happened, not about the eating or anything like that. We find that what happened, there was grief. What we find there was trauma, there was abuse, there was abandonment, there was disappointment, there were the stresses of life that then created the conditions for their current experience of being morbidly obese. And so the only difference between them and most of us is that they have a daily visual reminder of their inner pain, a daily visual reminder of that anguish and that suffering. But for us, our picture, if we're not morbidly obese or a candidate for Dr. Now's weight loss surgery, some of us, we have overwhelming debt. That's our 600-pound life. Some of us are in constant financial. That's our 600-pound life. Some of us, we have toxic relationships, toxic dating habits or behaviors. That's our 600-pound life. Some of us, our 600-pound life is addictions to food, shopping, TV, sex. Some of us, it's the misuse of drugs and alcohol. We all have a 600-pound life. And again, I am grateful for the mirror because it would be easy to think that I'm better than my brother or my sister that I'm seeing on the program. But I understand that they're showing me something about myself because we all have a 600-pound life. Now what's heal our trauma and eliminate that inner feeling of inner turmoil, even if it's only temporary. So what's happening is we recognize that then what's the problem, the thing that we need to heal, again, as I said, a proper understanding of the problem. If weight is not the problem for the patients of the show and debt is not our problem, we understand that these are effects. What happens is if we only fix the effects, I've seen this over and over again as I've worked with so many people, I've supported people in completely clearing debt, and a year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, they're back in debt. Because they did not heal the problem. It's easy to fix debt. I mean, on the material level of just paying things off or making more money to pay that off, that's easy to do. We understand the practical steps. But the reason why many times we're not able to do that is because we have not healed the trauma. We have not healed that pain. We have not healed the roots of the abuse or the fruits of that turmoil that's taking place. So it's important for us to understand that if we only fix the effects, the problem will show up again in that same area or in a different area of life. So that means then that a permanent and lasting transformation requires us to do work on the inside and on the outside. Right? It's a both end, right? It's yes, if you want to get out of debt, there's some practical things you're going to have to do. You're going to have to change the way you spend. You're going to have to reorganize your bills. You're going to have to do something practical. That's the external. But if you only do that, this is not a doomsday prophecy, it's just truth, you will end up in a similar situation again because the internal thing has not been healed. Y'all with me? Yes. All right. So the first thing for us to understand is that we all have a 600-pound life. So let us not judge our brothers and sisters on this show, but let us recognize that they are actually a mirror for us to support us in healing the things that are a 600-pound life, they just can't be seen. Now, the other interesting thing, we talked about we all have a 600-pound life. The second piece is that there are no magic pills. And this is always interesting to me because the patients kind of get the shock of their lives after they meet Dr. Now for the first time. As the show opens up again, we see how hard things are and how bad it is for them, and they may be struggling to stay clean and you know have sometimes tumultuous relationships with family and difficult relationships with family. And so we go through all of that, but they've decided, you know, I'm gonna do this. I want to get this surgery, and I'm gonna do what it takes to go see Dr. Now. And many times, because of their weight, they may or may not be able to get on the plane, or if they get on the plane, it's an excruciating journey just to be on the plane. And after all of that, they get to Dr. Now. And Dr. Now, you know, they're evaluated, they're weighed, and he takes them into the room and has a conversation with them. And he evaluates whether they're a candidate for weight loss surgery, and he says, okay, I think we can do this, but the first thing I want you to do is starting tomorrow, I want you to start on a 1,200 calorie a day, high protein diet immediately. And he asked them to lose anywhere from 40, 50 or more pounds in about 3 months before they can get the surgery. And if they don't do that, they can't get the surgery, right? And it's a shock of their lives because the way the story is produced and the way the show is produced, everything is about this magic pill of surgery. Like, I realize I've just gone too far, and it's just so bad and so terrible, so I just need to get this surgery, and then everything, the weight will just start to fall off, and I'll be in a better place. And what they find is that that's not how it works. Now, first, there's a practical aspect to this, right? The practical aspect is that actually the more weight you lose before the surgery, that's helpful because many people transition because of the anesthesia. Your heart rate is elevated, your blood pressure is elevated. So as much as they can reduce weight, that actually helps with the success of the surgery, that you'll actually make it out alive. That's the practical piece, right? That's the external. But the internal piece, Dr. Now recognizes that if they cannot lose weight on their own, they will not have the motivation nor the habit that needs to be developed in order to continue to do that on a regular basis after the surgery, right? Because again, the surgery, it's not like weight just falls off because of the surgery. You have to continue with this way of eating, this pattern. If you establish it now, then you can continue it after the surgery. Y'all hear me? You see the metaphors? It's powerful. Yes, yes. So they think that the surgery is the answer, but Dr. Now knows differently. And it's interesting because the self-help industry, the personal development industry, it's generated billions of dollars, providing tools and tips and techniques for a generation of magic pill seekers. But the truth is, the pills, well, one thing I love, and when you think about all of the different books that have been written, there's an infinite number of tools, tips, and techniques, right? So it's not about the techniques, it has to be something else. But what is necessary is that whatever tool, whatever tip, whatever technique we choose to use, whatever path, we must develop a habit around it. And this is what Dr. Now knows so clearly. But this is also why, y'all know, PY and I don't teach magic pills. Yeah. We don't teach magic pills nor magical thinking. It's one of the reasons why I love the 4T Prosperity Program, because it does the very same thing that Dr. Now does in these 4 pieces. Because we start, day one, we actually start with praying, even though we don't call it praying. We say, starting tonight, when you go home, you have to affirm, I am prosperous 100 times that night before you go to bed, and then the next morning, 100 times in the morning, 100 times in the evening, and you continue to do that. Now, for those of you who have been through the program, you recognize that I am prosperous is a 3-column prayer. The prayer formula that you're going to learn later, that you're going to craft your own prayer that then use every morning, every day with your prosperity prayer circle, you start developing that habit on day one. Before you get any stuff, before you get some magical tool or technique to change your life in some way, because we all come, I've shared my story. The first time I took 4Ts, I came into 4Ts and I knew what I wanted. And I knew I wanted more money, and I knew I wanted a new job, and I knew I wanted to complete my album and release my record. I knew all the stuff that I wanted, and I came in and I was told on the first day, affirm I am prosperous 100 times in the morning and 100 times in the evening. I was told to pray. And again, that starts that daily morning habit, because many of us, when we come to that class, we don't have a habit of a morning practice. We don't have a habit of prayer, of daily prayer. And so this starts that, so that as we get into it, once you sign to your prayer circles, you're already in a mode. You're already in a mode, in a way of being. And that already starts to move you into starting to make different decisions, right? You got to think about your morning different. You got to maybe go to bed at a different time. And so then when we get to the media detox, it's a little easier when we get to that portion, right? There are no magic pills. The weight loss surgery, in this case, it's not the ultimate solution. What has to happen is the habit has to be developed of a new way of eating, a new way, and all of that, the best word for that is really lifestyle change, because that's what it is, right? You actually have to change your lifestyle. And what Dr. Now says, you have to change your lifestyle now. So a proper understanding of the problem is we understand that there's no magic pills. And so whatever change that we want to make, we have to start making a lifestyle change immediately if we want to experience the massive transformation that we're after. We all have a 600-pound life. There are no magic pills. And there is only one problem. This is my favorite part. It takes me to A Course in Miracles, lesson 79. Lesson 79 says, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. And in the text we read, or in the text of the lesson we read, a long series of different problems seem to confront you. And as one is settled, the next one and the next arise. There seems to be no end to them. There is no time in which you feel completely free of problems and at peace. No one could solve all the problems the world appears to hold. They seem to be on so many levels in such varying forms and with such varied content that they confront you with an impossible situation. If you could recognize that your only problem is separation, no matter what form it takes, you could accept the answer because you would see its relevance. All that is necessary is to entertain some doubt about the reality of our version of what our problems are. Now this is good, this is good. If you could recognize that your only problem is separation, no matter what form it takes, you could accept the answer because you would see its relevance. Separation is the root cause of all problems. And so what we recognize then is that when we consider the trauma we may have experienced in our lives, when we consider the abuse we may have experienced in our lives, when we consider the suffering we may have experienced in our lives in so many different ways, what happens when we experience trauma? What happens when we experience abuse is that we become separated from the idea that we are one with the all that is. Because in that moment, how in the world could we be one with a loving God if I'm experiencing this awful situation or this awful problem? We immediately cut ourselves off or feel in our minds, think in our minds, that we are cut off from source, cut off from God. It's not the truth though. And so the healing happens when we come back to this realization and when we surrender to a power that's greater than ourselves, to heal the separation. This is why I love the first 3 steps from AA. We use the first 3 steps or the 12 steps in the 4T Prosperity Program. Because this is the path that starts to heal the sense of separation. Step 1, we admitted we were powerless over, fill in the blank, that our lives had become unmanageable. We admitted we were powerless. Because all the time that we think that we're separate, we're operating in our power. We're trying to fix the problem. And this is where I talk about, again, this external thing, where if we only are trying to fix the thing from the external way, we're operating in our power. We think we have all the power to fix it. And again, we may actually temporarily fix that thing, but it doesn't last. And so we get to a place when we're finally, our backs are against the wall or we're on the ground wallowing in pain. We finally admit to ourselves that we are powerless over whatever this thing is and that our lives have become unmanageable. And then step 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Now we're moving back into connection. We're acknowledging that there is a power, there is something, call it what you want. But there is something that is greater than the experience and expression of yourself in your humanness right now. And if you choose to surrender to that thing, to believe that this power is greater, that is greater than yourself exists, it can and it will restore you to what? Sanity, your right mind, your good mind, your knowing mind. And then step 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood it. That completes the cycle of reconnection. That ends the separation. At that point, you realize you are no longer separate from your source. At that point, you realize you are no longer separate from the healing that you seek. At that point, you realize you are no longer separate from that support that you seek, that provision that you seek, those answers that you seek, that clarity that you seek, that victory that you seek, that decision that you seek. And so we must make the choice to completely turn our will over. And then allow this thing to work with us and through us to bring forth the healing. But these first 3 steps are so important, and this is what so many of us never do. We'll dance all around it. We'll dance all around it. And this is why I often say that I think healing our God concept is the most important piece. If we heal our concept of God, that begins all of the other healing. Because as long as God is some man in the sky or even some woman in the sky, as long as God is judgmental, as long as God hates some people and loves other people, as long as God is approving of certain wars but not other wars, all of these things, we must get rid of that concept, that idea of God, because it's not the truth of who and what God is. Then and only then could we ever surrender to it. Because I'm not surrendering to a judgmental, warmongering, bearded man in the sky. I'm not surrendering to that thing. But we recognize, but we recognize that's not the truth of God. And so when we come to this understanding and heal that understanding of who it is, it becomes very easy. Let's just think about this for a second. We hear and we know that God is love. Yes, yes? And it's actually one of the greatest ideas to think about. If you never use the word God and just use the word love, this is what we're talking about. We admitted we were having a conversation with love. And as we were having a conversation with love, we could be open and we could be honest, because love is love. And love doesn't judge us. And we said, love, I'm powerless over this thing. Love, I've tried, I can't do it. I've tried every program, Dave Ramsey, all these different debt programs, financial programs. I've tried every solution. Love, I'm powerless over this thing. I've tried every weight loss solution. I've tried every dating app. I've tried every relationship coach. Love, my life is unmanageable. I don't have the power. We can have that conversation with love, and then we can come to believe through that conversation with love, as love doesn't judge us, as love just holds us and says, come here, put your head on my shoulder, cry it out if you need to. I'm right here. Even as you're feeling powerless and realizing that your life has become unmanageable, love is saying to you, do you know how powerful you are? You're beautiful, you're worthy. I don't see you through the lens of your mistakes. Love is reminding you that you may have experienced mistakes or failures, but you are not a failure or a mistake. And as you have that experience with love, then you can come to believe that a power called love that's greater than you can restore you to your right mind. It would be easy to believe that when you have this conversation with love, when you're sitting at love's feet or laying your head on the shoulder of love, and then you can make a decision to turn your will and your life over to the care of love. The care of love as you understood it. And I like that idea of understood it, because what it means is the care of love as you've experienced it in this moment. Based on that experience, you now know that you can absolutely turn your will and your life over to love. And so when we move from lesson 79, let me recognize the problem so it can be solved. Lesson 80 says, let me recognize my problems have been solved. One problem, one solution. Your only problem has been solved. Repeat this over and over to yourself today with gratitude and conviction. You have recognized your only problem, opening the way for the Holy Spirit to give you God's or love's answers. You have laid deception aside and seen the light of truth. You have accepted salvation for yourself by bringing the problem to the answer. See, the thing about separation, as that is really the root and the only problem, separation is a lie. We only experience our perception of the lie. And because love is so loving, it never blocks our perception, right? That's why we have to give over our will to it, for its vision, so that we can see through the eyes of love, so we can see as love. And so we think that we're separate, but it's never true. And so at the moment that we are feeling that sense of separation, at the moment that we are feeling that sense of otherness, at the moment that we're feeling that sense of anguish and pain, we can do as the lesson said. We can repeat this over and over to ourselves with gratitude and conviction. Let me recognize my problems have been solved. As we have to have a pure understanding of what the problem is, we must come to this understanding that the problem has been solved. And when we understand that the problem has been solved, then as it says here, bring the problem to the answer. And when you bring the problem to the answer, in my mind's ear, I started to hear denials, because I hear that if I bring my problem to the answer, then immediately I'm going to hear, I'm not broke. I am not broken. If I bring my problem to the answer, I'm going to hear, I am not a mess. I am not dysfunctional. I am not incapable. I am not the trauma I experience. If I bring my problem to the answer and I heal the separation, the sense of separation in my mind, I'm going to begin to hear that I am not the hurt. I am not the pain. I am not the shame. I am not those experiences that I had. When I bring the problem to the answer, I realize and I hear I am not defined by my past. I am not defined by my mistakes. I am not defined by my failures. When I bring the problem to the answer is clear. And it reminds me of who I'm not. But we recognize that denial is just one part of it, because as you realize who you're not, you got to go to who I am. And so as I bring my problem to the answer, I realize that my problem has been solved. And so then I can affirm that I am healed. Then I can affirm that I am whole, I am happy. Then I can affirm that I am happier today than I was yesterday. You may not be in the complete feeling of happiness that is on its way that you are headed to, but you can affirm that I am happier today than I was yesterday. You can affirm that I am getting better and better and better every day in every way. As you bring the problem to the answer, you can affirm I am learning to live in peace. You may not be there right now, but you can affirm that you're learning it, that each step you take forward, learning better and better how to live in peace, how to live in, you're thriving. You can affirm I am thriving. I am seeing the light of day. Yes. I am seeing the light of day. No longer am I in darkness. I'm seeing the light of day. Right here and right now, I am choosing healing. I'm choosing peace. I am honoring myself. I am honoring the best of me. I am honoring the best parts of me. I am worthy. I am living like I'm worthy. I am treating myself like I'm worthy. I am talking to myself and talking about myself like I'm worthy. Lord have mercy. When I bring the problem to the answer and the answer speaks so clearly, I affirm I am beautiful, I am powerful, I am brilliant, I am amazing, I am magnificent. I am magnificent. Let me recognize that this problem has already been solved. We must understand and have a proper understanding of the problem. And when we have a proper understanding of the problem from this metaphysical, spiritual perspective, we realize that there's only one problem. The root cause is always separation. And that problem has been solved. To that I say amen. Amen. Ashe. Ashe. So it is. And so it is.
The problem has been solved. And as we move towards our problem being solved, there might be steps that we take along the way. It might require you to go to therapy. You hear me? It might require you to have some assistance as you move towards the solution. If you surrender that will, your will to that will, it will guide you in the next inspired step for you to get to healing. Realize and recognize that we're talking about a process that unfolds. And it unfolds easily and effortlessly when you are in alignment with it. It puts you in the position where you are with those who will assist you. Because there's some things that have to happen before surgery. There's some things that have to happen before the growth is removed. There's some things that have to happen. You have to realize and recognize that the problem has been solved. And I'm moving towards that solution. I'm never separate from it. I'm never separate from the solution. Never have been, never will be. So let me walk in the direction of the solution. Let me sing in the direction of the solution. Let me pray in the direction of the solution. Let me live in the direction of the solution. It's already been solved. I love how Abraham Hicks says, it's already done. It's done, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. I walk like it's done. Do you walk like it's done, or do you walk like you still have a problem? Do you walk like it's done, or do you walk like you still have a problem? I guess you walk like you still have a problem. We walk like it's already done. What does that mean? We walk like it's already done. I'm never despondent if the answer hasn't shown up yet, because guess what I know? I know it's already done. I'm never despondent because it doesn't look the way I thought it should look. It's already done. I walk in the direction of already done. I live in the direction of already done. I breathe, my heart beats, knowing that it's already done. When I woke up this morning, whatever problem I thought I had is already done. It's already solved. Done. 4 letters. Done. 4 letters. Done. And so I don't get upset. I let it take its time to unfold because I already know there's stuff you got to do before transformation happens. But we know that transformation will happen because guess what? It's already done.
In this moment, we are preparing for giving. So if there's anyone that needs, if you need an envelope or a pen, please just raise your hand. Our ushers are happy to serve you. Our ushers are happy to support you. If you would like to give online, and for those that are watching online, you should see the link there in the post. You can go to our website, celebrationsc.org, and go scroll to the giving section. If you'd like to text to give, 347-744-9500. We appreciate each and every one of you for your giving, and we know here at CSC that we teach that we give what feels good, right? We don't give out of obligation. And one of the things that I love about giving is to understand that what we're giving to is bigger than what we may see. It's bigger than what just happens within these 4 walls. And I want to share a message that I received. I shared it with Soul 21 and the volunteers today. That I received yesterday from someone who lives in North Carolina, has been following CSC for quite some time, and I believe she visited at least once. And she found CSC when she was in this place, in this mode of looking for massive change and needing a massive transformation. And so she writes, with a heart of thanksgiving and boundless praise, I want to thank God for you, Pastor Yolanda, and Soul 21, for the spirit-led and spirit-fed ministry that allowed me to heal from the loss of my mom and survive an extended period of unemployment without losing my home. I have accepted a job and will start on Monday. Thank you to you and all of the prayer champions for helping see that I could bless it, for helping me know that I am enough, that if I dare to make room for God and stay open to receive, that God will clearly show me that everything I seek, it will find me. Because of your powerful ministry, I am learning that all of life is truly a movement toward our wholeness. Yes. So if you want to understand impact, if you want to understand the impact of your giving, of your participation, of your service, you're impacting lives, people that you may never meet, that you may never see, but whose lives are changing and transforming as a result of our collective consciousness. So when you give, know that you are literally impacting someone and supporting someone's healing. And so when we do this, when we give in joy, when we give in gladness, we affirm all the money that I use, returns to me multiplied, in a never-ending cycle, of increase and enjoyment. With that, I call our ushers forward. Let's take a very joyous song.
Coming right back to me. I give my love, more love comes rushing back.
extend our hands, and through our hands, the very life beat, the life force that we call you, Mother, Father God. We are so grateful today for the givers and for the gifts, for we know that as it goes out, it has to come back. Come back to us in the solution to our problem. Come back to us in the love that we seek. Come back to us in all of the ways in which we desire to be one with you. Thank you, Mother, Father God. From this place of awareness, from this place of knowingness, we go out this week knowing that we are walking in the direction of the solution. Thank you, Mother, Father God, that it's already done. Together we say, amen. Ashe. So it is.
Let's affirm this truth together. I give my love, more love comes rushing back to me.
I give my love, more love comes rushing back to me. Thank you.
I give my time, more time available to me. I give my treasure, and doors are opening for me. As I give, I receive. Yes, it's all coming right back to me. Yes, it's easy as we breathe. Right back to me. Oh, right back to me. Yeah, yeah. It's coming right back. It's coming right back. Right back to me. So it is. And so it is.
Let's all stand. Let's all stand.
Yes, beautiful. We're on time.
Oh, look at us on time today.
So as a reminder, please everyone, save the date, September 8th. Summer Lovin' is now Endless Summer. We're going to have an awesome
We had to
time.
rebrand that.
We're going to have an awesome time, so please be here. Please save the date. And please invite your friends and family. It's going to be a wonderful time.
Absolutely, absolutely. This series is going to be so much fun and so insightful. If you haven't watched my 600-pound life, please check out a couple of episodes so you'll know what we're talking about. The secret sauce. We all actually have it. We just ain't using it. This month, we're going to use the secret sauce. We're going to understand what's components of it, and we're going to use it, right? But if something has come up for you, something that is blocking you from this awareness, this love's presence, some fear, some doubt, some worry, some insecurity, any of those things that would prevent you from walking the direction of truth, write them down and leave them on the altar. Leave your worries in the back of the room as you walk out. And let our prayer champion, Reverend Shauna, will pray over it all week. We do not beg, we do not barter, we do not bargain or beseech God. We know where God is, we know what God is, and we know that it's alive and well within us. We pray from the answer. Y'all hear me? We pray from the answer. And when you do this, when you release it all that's holding you from feeling this connection, what do we say every week?
All things are possible.
Now, all things are possible. Now every little thing is possible. 'Cause I know who I am. And I know whose I am.
Now all things are possible. Yes, everything is possible. I know who I am, and I know whose I am. Magnificent I am. Now everything is possible. Why? Because we know who we are, and we know whose we are. Now all things are possible.
Thank you.